What's up, guys? Back for another one. I'm just out for a kind of a morning walk, I guess. I think it's like 11 or so. I want to talk today about, so this is not like what I think is going to happen. What I want to talk about is kind of a path of, like a possible path that things might take that I see, right? And so it's like, okay, yeah, things could, and I'm talking about Trump. And what I want to talk about is a good path, like a positive path. The good things that I'm like kind of forcing myself to try to find from whatever that whole situation. And that's what this is. This is like best case scenario, best thing that happens. Do you know what I mean? It's not necessarily what I think is going to happen. It's just a possibility. I don't know what the possibility of it is, but here it is anyways. So what I want to talk about is, yeah, just the good things. And so where this kind of comes out of is it all depends on Trump's motivations for saying certain things in his running for the presidency. So there's no question, like he said, he was on both sides of certain issues. I've said it in different videos that he has been on both sides of, and it's not just me saying that, like he literally has been on both sides of many issues that was reported all the way through his running. People might not remember it or might not think about it, or maybe they didn't notice it or whatever because they weren't really paying attention, but that's what happened. Okay, so when he, and the reason for that is when he was campaigning for the Republican people, like for the Republican seat, he was talking all Republican talking points. He was saying the Mexicans, he was saying Saudi Arabia and the Muslims. He was saying we need First Amendment or whatever the fucking Second Amendment, the gun rights thing is. He was talking all that shit. And then when he needed to appeal to the broader voters, what he did is he pretty much copied Bernie Sanders' talking points and was speaking from a humanitarian kind of perspective, you know? And yes, okay, so he was doing it to sell himself, and he did it at strategic times. He changed his rhetoric at strategic times in order to appeal to the voters he was talking to, or potential voters he was talking to. And so what that brings me into is, which one is he really? And who is Donald Trump, like, ultimately, right? And that's what makes the difference. If he, like, there's a chance, like, he read Bernie's speech and was like, damn, like, this makes sense, and to him it made sense, and whatever, or maybe not. But the point is, I think if he were to lean on one side of the spectrum or another, based on the limited information that I have of him, I would say, coming from New York City, other than that he's rich, just the social aspect of coming, just take away the money. He's in a large city, in a wildly democratic city, like just a democratic city, not a Republican city at all. Most large cities are not Republican, they are democratic or progressive. So that makes me think, like, maybe, like, what I'm trying to find is, like, okay, how, like, is this guy going to be a sociopath? Because he can do that, and but he can also give a lot. He has the ability to change things so that people live better lives going forward, or he has the ability to do the other. So obviously that's what I'm trying to kind of put together here. And the path forward, the good path forward I see is that he, like this position just rocks him, just wakes him up and just shakes him, makes him scared. Like, what should I do? I don't know. Like, I hope that when it was announced, or when he, at some point, I don't know when, whatever time, he has this kind of out-of-body experience where it's like, like if you're kind of about to die, you know what I mean? And you flash back your whole life, and you kind of see your whole life in a couple seconds, you know what I mean? I really hope that happens to him, where he just has this experience where it's just, he sees things differently now that he is the president. I really hope that, and if that is the case, then things will be good, in my opinion. As long as, now there's things working against that. Number one, there's the kind of, whatever you want to call it, the machine of the US government that's already going, and there's question about whether he will be able to even do anything if he even wants to. You know, like who knows what he'll be able to do, right? But good or bad. But, and so that's working against him. Also, he hasn't appointed anybody yet, I don't think. But everybody that I've seen being floated, that he's thinking about appointing, are not good people. They are on the worst end of the spectrum in every regard. Like super military people who think that like perpetual war is the only answer to anything. People who just terrible social issues, who like his vice president fucking thinks gay people should be shocked into being straight or whatever. And but I can't say all that. I mean, his vice president's locked in, but I don't know who else is going to appoint to the different cabinet positions for the different kind of sectors. But so that's kind of working against him. But the one thing also that's working for him is that working for him in the way of, if he goes in a positive direction. This is all hypothetical, okay? So, but yeah, one thing that's working for him in that is that he is a bullheaded kind of guy. Like, he just does what he wants, because fuck him, kind of thing, you know? And that could very well be a positive thing, because that could be an extremely good thing in dealing with what I said before, the US fucking governmental machine that's already running or whatever. Do you know what I mean? There's so many moving parts, and he's just one of those moving parts. But if he makes enough of a racket, then maybe he can make some change, hopefully for good, right? Yeah, and that's kind of how I see it. That's the path to goodness that I see. Like, he needs to have this change in attitude, because he was an asshole businessman for a long time, and hopefully that's not what he wants to be. Hopefully that's not still who he wants to, like, that's not who he wants to be still, hopefully. So in that case, that'd be a good thing, because then he won't be spouting all this neo-Nazi, anti-Muslim, all that fucking bullshit. Like, that shit is so toxic. It's not good it's so bad for so many people that you really need to stop doing it. And it's not because I feel like I'm really unaffected by it all personally, but I just know that it's a bad thing for many people. So it's like, I just feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm just not a selfish fucking asshole, I guess. Anyways, yeah, and so hopefully like, I don't know, I'm not gonna say what percentage, but I just want to put out a positive, like, what are the possibilities that Trump could do, and maybe he just, like, it'd be fucking amazing if he at the end of this, like, it would be such a relief if what he did is he gamed the system and made it like, and just got into the system by talking a bunch of bullshit to these rural fucking people that live in the middle of the country who are racist and all that. He did get a lot of Obama's voters as well, who, because he talked a lot about the economy, and Hillary was just didn't. She was like halfway on everything. It was like, oh, we're gonna lower the cost of schools. Like, that's not a winning fucking strategy for presidency. So he was a little bit more extreme, which kind of worked to his favor. But he was extreme in many good ways and in many bad ways as well. So it's just like a crapshoot. Like, nobody fucking knows what he stands for. Like, nobody, literally. So it's like a fucking lottery, kind of. You know, it's just a gamble, and that's the scary part about it for a lot of people, I think. But the change is good. Change, I support intelligent change. I support change in all areas, but it needs to be from a place of understanding and intelligence and the facts, knowing, like, trying to know the whole situation, as opposed to just forming an opinion based on one or two things and then moving forward, because a lot of things contradict themselves, and a lot of things are super complicated, and that's why it's really hard to make any, it's kind of extreme to have a firm stance on anything. Do you know what I mean these days? Like, to say you feel strongly one way or another is like, well, you're extreme, dude. Like, you know, socially, do you know what I mean? Like, just passing, you know, just being fucking nice to everybody and being passive and whatever, that seems to, like, people seem to like that because it's comfortable. I don't know. I don't really work like that. I like to challenge myself, and I like to challenge the people around me, and I like them to challenge me as well.